So I always knew that I didn't want to work for anybody else. Let me just say that. Hey, this is Adven Kimby, and welcome to What's Your Hustle podcast.
What's your hustle? What do you do? Here to bring money and attention to you. A lot of people want to know, you gotta give them the truth. Here to run the numbers up, we about to go through the roof. What's your hustle? What's your hustle? Here to talk about your grind, how you spend your time. We done brought you to the show, you gotta speak what's on your mind. What's your hustle? What's your hustle? What's your hustle? What's your hustle? Yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of What's Your Hustle podcast. And today we got a special guest. Today we got Adven Kimby. And if you don't know about her, you're going to find out. And we're going to find out together. She's a gamer. She's a photographer. And she also does cosplay. And in addition to that, she also throws events. And she does that locally right here in South Bend. And today, she's our special guest. And so we're going to find out more about her and her entrepreneurial journey together. So without any further ado, let's welcome Adven Kimby.
Hey guys, what's up?
Okay, Adven Kimby. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Okay, so I do multiple things, but I live stream video games. I build cosplays. I also model those cosplays, and I throw events for people to dress up in cosplay or like just any type of theme. So like, let's say I want to do like somebody wants to do a Harry Potter party. That's hard to say. And they'll inquire me as the host for that.
And so when they inquire for you to like be the host, like what does that entail if they want a Harry Potter party?
Harry Potter party. I know. I don't know why I picked Harry Potter. It can be any theme. So like, we'll just say Star Wars too, something like that. But yeah, so what ends up happening is I try to dress up for the theme, whatever that looks like. I usually always have like a DIY within my cosplay. I don't try to buy just like built cosplays, or people might not know what cosplay is, costumes online. I try to, make them myself, and then I go in there. Everybody's dressed up usually. We have different games, and there might be like themed music and stuff like that. And I just walk around, greet everybody, and we have fun. I kind of like host with a mic if they have something like that. If they don't, I just use whatever they got there. So that's kind of how it works. It's really fun though. I'll say and it's not just for kids, it's for adults too. So
how did you get into all of that?
So I've always been into cosplay. I've been into gaming and things like that. And when the pandemic hit, I was trying to find a way to monetize what I love to do. So I'm sure a lot of people have done it. It's like, hey, I'm going to go to the drawing board. I have some time. Let me, really get into what I want to do for the rest of my life and have it be a fun thing. So with cosplay, I decided to say, well, first I'm just going to start building cosplays and recording that action, just documenting everything that has to do with a cosplay build for me. And then obviously take pictures, put those out, get some buzz and feedback that way. And then it actually led into me doing events. So I'm so grateful for the local establishments that I've been able to work with. They really helped me. You guys are awesome. Because when I first started, I wanted to introduce it. So I had to kind of do a test run where I might have not made a lot of money, but eventually, after 2 or 3 of those, I was able to expand, and now it's monetized when I go and do these events.
So, what all did it entail to where you can get to the point where you can like really monetize what you do in regards to the cosplay and doing the events? Because it's a passion of yours, and you say you got the passion. This is what you want to do, and you want to make money off of it.
Mm-hmm.
But then, how did you take those necessary steps? Because you watch some YouTube videos or something.
Yeah, so I have a lot of knowledge, I guess, when it comes to marketing and things like that. I have a certificate for business management. So I kind of just took that. I seen that everybody was on social media. When the pandemic hit, social media was the place for people to go. I literally were seeing people having online like messenger parties, just trying to connect anyway because we couldn't connect physically. So that's when like that really big virtual boom came. And within that, I seen that pattern, and I was like, well, everybody's on the internet, everybody's listening to what everyone has to say. How do I stand out? How do I get people to kind of like see me and see what I love doing? And that is where that idea sparked of I'm going to start trying to monetize videos. And also too, I would say like strategically, definitely coming up with marketing plans. So if I'm going to do a cosplay build, I need to, within 1 week, I need to document my build. I need to make sure that I edit the video for it, do teasers. So like through Facebook stories, I utilize that, Instagram stories, and just trying to like come up with that, that leeway. Then that led into, well, I'm going to do pictures because, I did my cosplay build. So now everybody wants to see the finished final result. So that led me into actually connecting with a local videographer and photographer, Genesex Media. And that has been the person that I've used for like my cosplay photography. And yeah, that I would say that relationship really helped me because it's one less thing that I have to do. Just because I do photography doesn't mean I want to take pictures of myself. It's pretty hard, believe it or not. So yeah, I did that, and just coming up with those little itty bitty steps. Anybody can do it, it's just what you bring to it and what you're, putting out. Is it something that's, you don't want to be generic. You don't want to, go the easy route. That's why I really like doing the DIY cosplays, because I can put my spin on them. And I use different materials and different things that really, make it different and unique.
So when it comes to cosplay, how much money can one make within that industry?
I would say the most money that I'm making through cosplays is actually through my events now. I do post cosplays. I have a Patreon. So that's kind of where people get the behind the scenes, and that's, through tiers. So, and this is nothing new. A lot of cosplayers do this, but they, you get tiers and you can set them for whatever price that you want to do, whatever's comfortable for you. I have a $5, $10, $25 tier, and they have different benefits to them. So my top tier, people get to actually like be on live stream with me when I'm cosplaying. So I'll go live, they can ask me questions, we can do Q&As, we can play games together because I also live stream and play video games. So it's kind of like a little special treat for them. They also get to pick some of my costumes. So I do like a this or that, and they get to vote on, what cosplay I build next. So that in and of itself is one area for monetization. And then my cosplay events, that's where I'm making a bulk of my money. because now I'm actually getting paid and I'm setting like door prices. So I just get the door. And usually I do it at a bar. So it's usually 21 and up. But yeah, the bar just takes the alcohol sales and I keep the door. So it's really whatever I want it to be set as. For hosting parties and things like that, I do usually do set prices, but it depends for like per hour. So it's just really about what people want. And I do also charge for any extra materials that I have to make if I'm doing a specific cosplay build, like for hosting a party. So,
man, that's a lot.
yeah. And that's like all encompassed into like one thing. I mean, I also live stream, so that's donations. Literally, it's more so there's like two different types of video game live streamers. There are the ones that are like super hardcore serious about gaming, and then there are ones who are more relaxed. I'm like more of a relaxed variety gamer. I like to play things that I can actually have fun with, and I really like to be able to like interact with my community. So it's based on my community. That's really what is important to me, and just having fun with them. That's why I started live streaming video games, because I can play a video game by myself all day, but it's not as fun as if I have other people with me, even though they're not like with me physically, they're with me virtually. So that's what makes it fun for me.
And they're just tipping in regards to that. They just So what makes the person on the other end like want to chime in and didn't even pay tip for that?
Yeah, so I would say really it just depends on, first off, you have to be genuine, you have to be yourself. You can't be, I mean, I guess people can be fake, but I don't, I'm just me, and I'm just trying to have fun. I would say just being genuine, being able to spark conversation. So I really like, and through my community on Facebook and Twitch, I like to interact with them. I like to talk to them about things that interest me. So that like includes wrestling, includes MCU talk, includes comic books, includes any movies, anything pop culture really, things that are new in gaming. I also love retro video games, so that's something that we talk about as well. So it's just like building that community and being able to talk to them. That's when you get that support,
So how does one go about building a community? Or how did you go about just building a community?
So what I ended up doing is going through Facebook groups. So, for instance, I love horror movies. Freddy being my favorite horror character or horror icon. And I did a Freddy cosplay photo shoot. So I went through and found, Freddy fans through Facebook groups, posted my cosplay photos, and I got a lot of traction that way. That's just like an example. I've joined other Facebook groups where, like I said, all those topics that I just talked about, to where I can interact with them and kind of, share those communities. So like, and they kind of meld together. But if you're trying to do that yourself, I would say find topics that interest you. If you love makeup, or you love, dog sitting, or, whatever it is, try to find those people online. And that's how you're going to get your support if you're starting a business.
You have the live streaming, the cosplay, and then the cosplay event.
Yes.
So does that community follow you on all of those? Like they heavily involved in everything that you do, like all those go together?
Yes. So I actually really wanted to talk about this. So, and I'm still working on building it, but for social media platforms in general, all of them, you have to really be able to share and post and interact through them all. So like through my Facebook, I might do Instagram marketing plan where I say, hey, follow me on Instagram. I got a new picture up, exclusive cosplay builds, or, go check out my TikTok where I just made, 3 new TikToks in my cosplay. So it's like having all those little bits and pieces of content, being able to distribute them evenly, spread them out. And so somebody says, oh, hey, well, I really like her cosplays. Oh, she does cosplay live streams on Facebook. Let me go check that out. So it's kind of like one of those things where they're all interconnected. And yeah, you got to make sure that, you're getting all of your audience to find different things in your social medias. So like, for Facebook, and Twitch, like I exclusively live stream on there. So I'm going to post live streams on there. I might post a couple of my live stream reels, but like for my TikToks, if I'm making TikToks, I'm going to try to have it exclusively for like my cosplay TikToks. So making sure they can get little bits and pieces throughout all of them, but making sure they're still all connected, if that makes sense.
So then you're not just creating one piece of content and then just posting it on all platforms, each social media platform. You're posting on all of them, but you're posting something slightly different to kind of make you want to have to interact.
Yes. And I think that's something that I specifically do. I've seen other people where, if they make a YouTube video and they upload it on Facebook, because they might have two different audiences. But right now I'm still trying to build my other social media platforms. So that's a way for them to kind of venture over and see I would say if you're still in that building phase. Because if they can go to your Facebook and see everything, or they can go to your YouTube and see all of your content, it's like, why would they want to go over here to TikTok or go over here to Instagram? They wouldn't have a need to, because it's all in one spot.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So, is this something that you just discovered on your own? Like, okay, this is how I'm going to do it. Or this is like trial and error, or? I
would say it's trial and error, especially since like when I first started this, I created a Facebook and an Instagram. Those were my first 2 social media platforms for my business that I decided to go through for routing. As my equipment grew and I grew, because I was only live streaming at first, that was probably my first year I just strictly live streamed. I kind of started to build knowledge and say, well, hey, I want to actually show my cosplays as well. So venturing out, finding those Facebook groups, and, just in general, being able to build as a person, getting new equipment and things like that. It all kind of just flowed together.
So you say you have a marketing background, right? So
yeah.
Was that the field that you was working in before the pandemic?
No. So I always knew that I didn't want to work for anybody else. Let me just say that. Because I knew that there was a way for me to make money. And, everybody has a life. I wanted to make sure that, everything that I did was going to be flexible. I actually have a son who's disabled. So being his mother, I feel like I couldn't really work a regular 9 to 5. There's just too many doctor's appointments, too many hurdles. He has therapies he has to go to. I had to be present. So I went to school. So I went to college. I got an associate's degree in photography. And that's kind of where my passion was first. I'm like, I want to capture other people's memories and moments for them. So that's what I was doing before the pandemic. But then the pandemic hit, everybody was in lockdown, and I'm like, I need to find a way to still go. And I knew that I still wanted to do something that I loved. And I don't regret it at all. I was actually scared when I first started, because I was like, I'm putting so much of myself out there. It might not seem like it because it's entertaining, but it's all the things that I loved and cherished and, grew up with. And I didn't want anybody to receive it negatively because I felt like it would hurt me. But within that, I will say that it's the best thing I ever did. It's not about being scared. It's about being excited and like being able to push yourself. And I pushed myself through that scared feeling. And once I did, I realized that there are so many people that are there to support me. And, me being able to connect with them online is just awesome. It's like I have a whole nother family that's, not around me. They're all over the world. So it's great. I love it.
How did you push yourself during that I'm afraid or scared phase?
Yeah. So first off, talking to a camera is very, very, very hard. That's why I always want to be behind the camera. That's why I loved photography. I was like, I'm going to be too scared. I'm going to be nervous. I'm going to mess up. I'm going to fumble. So that was my first step. And it is all about practice. So I would put little bits and pieces out. I did have to just take a jump though, and say, I'm actually going to do this. So I plan to do my live streams. And I didn't even have a camera when I first started live streaming. I literally had my video game, a microphone, that's it, internet connection. Let's go, let's do it. Within that first month, I was able to upgrade. So I took all my savings and I went and bought camera. I had some lights, but I went and bought more lights. I bought a gaming PC. I did a whole complete setup because I was like, this is what I want to do. So I put all my assets into my living, pretty much what I want to do for a living. And I would say practice really helped me too. Just getting those first ones out because we're all growing all the time. There's never a moment where you stop growing. So in order to, do that in your career, you have to just keep going one step at a time, no matter what it looks like. It might be just getting your thoughts together, or it could be actually just, going out into the world. For me, this camera, that's what I had to learn. And it was the hardest thing and it scared me the most. But now I'm comfortable looking at a camera and talking to a camera because I know that there are other people on the other side that are watching me and listening to me and supporting me.
What's been one of the most fulfilling parts for you being an entrepreneur?
I would say seeing how my community has supported me, honestly. I do like being able to see tangible things. So like being able to see numbers and, having those big goals, because I always set goals for myself. So, if my plan was to make, the first time I ever had a donation, it was like, woo, jump for joy, because it's like, hey, somebody actually cares, about what I'm doing, and, they're trying to support me in it. So like setting those little goals is good to see tangibly, like numbers and things like that. But I would say my community and just having that support and having that build, that's the most gratifying thing. When I go to events, people saying, hey, that's Adventure Kimby. Can I take a picture with you? Of course you can. Like, I'm here for you. I'm not here for me. I feel like a lot of people, and you shouldn't be like that. But if you're going to be an entrepreneur and you're going to be, it's just you, because that's what it is for me right now. I do have a manager that, helped, but all those connections, that I'm making with my actual supporters, that's what means the most. I do kind of want to touch on that. I don't know if we can or not, but just being able to talk about having connections and networking and things like that. So I ended up having my photographer, Genesis Media, kind of talk to me a little bit. We would do photo shoots and things like that. And just business talk. What are your goals? And actually, he was able to, kind of help me point in the right direction, get more of a schedule down. And, he offered, I can manage you and help you maybe like get connections with local areas for events and things like that. So that kind of took on its own formation. And because I knew him, I was able to connect with people. I was able to do those events. And then that led to me networking with other people. So I did a couple of live streaming events at the Garage Arcade Bar. And within that, I was able to connect with the Bendix Arena Center before it was even a thing, before it was even open. I was able to go to a commercial shoot where it was me and my guests were the only 2 women in there for the commercial shoot. And we were able to represent girls who gamed. So like those type of things are very important, and just being able to make those connections, because it's like a snowball. They all lead back to something positive and something like awesome, not only for me, not only, for my supporters, but for the community.
So through getting the manager, that was how you was afforded some of those opportunities that you were speaking of?
Yes. A lot of the management aspects of what's going on is scheduling. So just kind of like being supportive of me and saying, hey, we might do this. Let's try to, sorry, I'm going to start over. With the management, scheduling was a big thing. So being able to say, hey, let's do a cosplay shoot this month. And, so within these first 2 weeks, let's make some Facebook reels or some TikToks and record behind the scenes. Let's edit that video. That might be the first 2 weeks. And then the third week, we're going to take the pictures for the cosplay. But also within that week, we're going to post those, that video that you made of your cosplay on YouTube. And we're going to, post some little sneak peeks of the costume maybe. And that week we're going to take pictures. And then the next week on Friday, we're going to drop them. So like that part of it, it really instilled like, okay, well, I have to set these things up. It's not just, let's just go and I have an idea and let's do it. Like we have to document it. We have to make sure that everybody's seeing what I'm doing. People love to be involved, and that's a way that they can be involved, without being there, which is pretty much majority of my business is online. Management also helped me with saying, hey, we do want to have throw events. We want to make sure that it's, cosplay related. So I know this person and this person, let's get in contact with them and see if we can, make something happen, whether that's you doing a cosplay event there or live, like I said, live streaming on location. That was a big thing. Nobody I know has ever live streamed on location anywhere. Nobody that I know has hosted a cosplay event. The only places that I know are Comic-Cons, and, that's for the state or, multiple states. So being able to have that little piece, it's like a jewel in the city. And it's a way for those people to come out and be able to interact and express themselves. Cosplay isn't just about dressing up in costumes. It's about, like being who you want to be and not being afraid to be who you want to be and not being judged for who you want to be or who you are. So I think that having a manager helped a lot, and it still helps because within that too, within those cosplay events, they were able to reach out to different bars because that's usually where I do my events. And I was able to actually go down to Fort Wayne and to Ted's Beercade and do an event down there. So it's a whole nother group of people who still love cosplay, and we're reaching them. And I found out that they were connected to people in Elkhart at the Hall of Heroes Museum, which I went there too, and we connected. So like, it's all just a big revolving door, and it's awesome that like the support is just, it's everywhere. You just have to find those outlets and avenues.
Wow. So what was life like for you before you got a manager? Because it sounds like your manager added a lot of structure, helped you to get focused and secure bigger and better deals and opportunities.
Yeah, so I would say without my manager, it was me having to push myself outside of that box first, right? And just figuring out what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. That's what it comes down to. It's like, what do you want to do and how are you going to do it? The how are you going to do it part, I didn't know everything at first, but I knew what I wanted to do, and I took what I had and I started. That's the biggest hurdle, is starting. Even if you have, 2 hours to dedicate to it, or 10 hours, we have to start somewhere. We have to make it a structured, every day I'm going to do this at this time. Because if you don't, you're not going to do it. To plan it, it helps, but you actually have to do those things. So I was mostly live streaming before I had my manager. So that was the thing that I did on my own. I had my equipment. Like I said, I have a photography background. So I was able to set up my live streaming station where I have my camera, my microphone, my games, all of those things. Excuse me. And my voice. Need some water. No, but yeah, I was able to set those things up myself. And that was where I started. And then I got the idea, I should, express my cosplay. So, at first I wasn't recording my cosplay builds. I was just like, I'm gonna build my cosplay. I know I want to take pictures. Reached out, found an awesome photographer, and hey, every month I want to do a cosplay shoot. So, I'm going to pay you in advance, and let's get this going. So, being able to do that was what I was able to do by myself. Now, when my manager came in, like I said, there was more structure, and I feel like there was more added social media. I can't think of the word. I feel like when my manager came, I was able to express more of what I was doing on social media. There it goes. So I was able to do the behind the scenes where, I didn't think that people would be interested in that. I was able to monetize my cosplays. I wasn't thinking that, hey, I'm just going to post these on my Facebook or my Instagram. It's like, no, people will actually pay to see pictures and see me actually building these cosplays because they're interested in it. And, those type of things are what helped kind of more so monetize things. I mean, Facebook is one thing in of itself. Facebook and Twitch live streaming is one thing, but it was like, let's find other ways to monetize. And so they actually helped me with that, which I'm grateful for because I was just posting stuff and, not really worrying about, I think I can make money off of this too. So.
So you have your Facebook monetized as well, like getting that social media money, so to speak?
Yeah, I am monetized through Facebook through donations. So Facebook works for live streaming with stars. People buy stars and then they can send you stars. And yeah, that's how Facebook works. It's really easy. And yeah, I make a majority of my money online virtually through Facebook.
So from people giving you the tips.
Yeah, from donation.
From the donation. So not from like creating like the content and posting reels and so forth. Not that.
I haven't cracked the reel game yet. I'm not gonna lie. TikTok is hard for me. I don't know why. I have these moments, like these bursts of like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and it'll be a really good idea. But right now, honestly, I need to work on TikToks and my Facebook reels. And so that's something that I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna build. I'm gonna research. I'm gonna study. Every piece of content that I have out now, I'm sure I can, pull something because I have, however many videos on Facebook, so many videos of me live streaming. I have videos behind the scenes, like me doing cosplay shoots. So it's just finding those little moments and being able to share them. It only takes a 60-second video to make somebody happy or make somebody's day.
So you make the bulk of the money from the events versus doing the donations from live streaming or.
Okay, so yeah, so virtually I would say Facebook, that's what pays my bills. The events are good because it's a big bulk of money at one time. Facebook works a little bit differently. So if I make money in, May, I'm not going to get it till July. And that's just the way they do it. It takes a month for them to say, okay, we're going to process this. And then it takes a month for them to send it to you. So it's sporadic. So if I have a good month in May, I might not really see it until July. So yeah, it's tricky with the events. That's cash on hand right there. So that's easy. But yeah, with Facebook, I kind of have to do the waiting game. But once it hits, it's good. I'm able to pay my bills and stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty much that.
So how did you go about building up your subscribers, your supporters? Because you made a decision like, okay, this is what I'm going to do, but you had to get there, like one follower, one subscriber, one supporter. Yeah. So how did that work? What does that look like for you?
First off, it was just me telling everyone around me, hey, this is what I'm doing. Come check me out, spend time with me, talk to me, hang out with me online, virtually. So just being able to spread that word and being able to have people share my content. So, hey, it's just a quick click of a button. Hey, can you share this for me? It would help me out. I really appreciate it. Those 20 people that are watching me, if they all share, then 20 more of their friends can see me too. So it's like that branch and like the tree spreads. So that's kind of like how I started building supporters. And like I said, I went through the Facebook groups. And when I did that, it was like more so genuine, like, oh, hey, I really love what you do, so I'm going to support you. And that's what made the difference. Online, it's tricky because you have to kind of find those people. Not everybody is going to like what you post or what you do in those groups, but the few, however many, 50, 150 out of the 300 people that seen your post or something, if they convert over and say, hey, I like this person, I'm going to follow her and see what she has in store for us, So it's just like getting those sources of entertainment out for people and, just finding where they are online.
How are you able to scale like what you do? Like what's the next level and where you are?
I would say for me, I'm very fortunate because I found something that I love to do that nobody else is doing in this area. People live stream in this area. It's not really talked about. I've met them, but I've never heard of them outside of, me saying, oh, hey, you live stream? That's cool. I live stream too. With me building my brand and, like I said, doing these cosplay events, working with people in the city, finding outlets and avenues. I've also been able to have other people come in and model cosplays with me. So, I mean, just having all those connections, that's really what's going to take me there. Like I said, I'm the only one doing this here. So for me, it's an open market. I would say like I said, I'm going to work on them Facebook Reels, them TikToks. I'm going to get some out. And just being able to kind of crack that, I feel like that's the next step. I watch Facebook Reels and TikToks a lot throughout the day. You just get stuck on there. And you could be doing something and, oh, I'm going to put my phone down for a split second. But if I'm watching a Facebook Reel and I put my phone down, that Facebook Reel may be played already 3 times. They got 3 views, so it's like after a while that adds up. So I guess like Facebook Reels and just being able to connect socially on different social sites, I would say that's my next step. Kind of still trying to build my virtual audience. I feel like I have enough content and I've done enough as far as cosplays go that I'm able to move around and like host events and do things like that within the city, and that's good. Like that's good set for me. But I'm trying to build on different networks. Yeah.
How do you manage everything when it comes to like the finances and running it? So like using like QuickBooks, self-employed, you got an accountant. Like how do you manage all that to like, but you're not giving the government majority of your money so you can keep it? Like how does that work?
Yeah, so I definitely have like an accountant, and they do my taxes for me and things like that. So I can just, if I need something, I know about tax write-offs and things like that. So I think that helps a lot, because if I'm, let's say I do a cosplay event, that's my gas, that's me traveling. So if I'm out of town, I might need to take a rental or something like that. So like those, stay at a hotel, all those write-offs really help. And then as far as like financing and things like that, I do use QuickBooks. So I think just in and of itself for taxes, that's pretty much it. And just being able to structure my finances. If I do cosplays, so I want to do a cosplay build, I know I need, equipment. So I'll make sure I budget it out, and, that type of thing, kind of like plan ahead with everything. If I get a bulk amount of money, I'll pay, some of my bills up. So then I don't have to worry about it, for 2 or 3 months. So it's just kind of one of those things. And I feel like all entrepreneurs, if you have your own business and, you don't know necessarily like how much money you're going to make this month, it's one of those things where it's always wise to kind of, make sure you can put money aside or, pay something up, opposed to just, I guess, going off the wheels and just saying, hey, well, I guess I'll just pay my bills every month the same way. So yeah, those things definitely help. I would say my accountant probably helps me the most though, because I'm able to just call and say, hey, is this something that I can use for a tax write-off? Because a lot of the stuff that I do, that's what it entails.
as far as like when it comes to building a team or having a team, what all people do you have that you feel like it takes to like make you successful, like to make you where you are right now?
I would definitely say support from, I know it's not a team, but literally support from my fans, because without them, I wouldn't be anything. But behind the scenes, I'm pretty much like a one-man show. I do have a manager and I have my accountant. My manager kind of helps me with staying on track for scheduling things, and I'm doing all my live streaming stuff myself. Like I said, I have a background in photography, so I know about all my video equipment. I know about, my setup and things like that. I don't need help with that. I can work from, wherever I have my setup. So being able to work from home, that's been really great for me. And yeah, so like I feel like all the technical behind the scenes things with videos and, I guess content creation is covered by me, except for my cosplay pictures, which are, of course, my manager is a videographer and photographer first. So that's it. We got it covered. And I don't want to say like it's for everybody, because I feel like everybody needs to kind of, be able to have a team and support, because you can't do it all by yourself. Being able to do 3 or 4 jobs is not everybody's cup of tea. So yeah, it's okay to outsource, but the more that I think about it, like I know what I can do and what I'm capable of, so it works for me.
So you went to school for photography.
Yes.
What do you feel like? What school did you go to?
I went to Ivy Tech.
Okay, Ivy Tech. I went to Ivy Tech too.
Okay.
Shout out to Ivy Tech.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you feel like going to college prepared you for business, or did they just prepare you to just take nice photos?
Okay, so this is what I have to say about college. I went to college as an older person, and not fresh out of high school. The first time I tried to go to college out of high school, it didn't work for me. So I got my life together, got some structure, and said, now I can go to school. And I took opportunities at Ivy Tech because I knew I needed to work on things. I'm an introvert. Might not be able to tell. It doesn't look like it. If you look at what I do, and I can talk to people, and we can have fun and do all these things, but I still need to just go home and be by myself and decompress, and that's how I find peace. I took opportunities at Ivy Tech to step outside of my box, to learn how to interact with people and talk to people. So I was in honor societies. I was in National Society of Leadership and Success. I was in Phi Theta Kappa, which is like an honor society that focuses on academics. So you have to have like a 3.5, I think, GPA to even be considered into that. But I took the major roles in those. So I was vice president. I was public relations. So I kind of got practice doing those things, because I knew that's what I needed to do if I wanted to work for myself. And being able to, work on those things in an environment like school, it helped because it's already setting you up for business. I think that that's really why I'm able to, do all these things and interact with people, because it was very hard for me. I think that's why I love, I love my job. I love live streaming. I do love hosting events though too. That's something that I found. I love public speaking. I didn't know that. I was terrified. I was like, I'm going to learn how to speak in public. So, I did that through Ivy Tech. I was able to introduce a guest speaker and, in front of 500 people. So, I mean, that in and of itself, it's like, I felt like I could do anything. I could talk to anybody, I can hold a microphone. I can do this. And yeah, those things really prepared me for me being able to go into the world saying, after I'm done with college, I am going to start my own business. I took the opportunities because I knew I needed specific tools, and I knew what tools I needed to be successful.
You mentioned earlier that you had to get some structure before you went into college. What, you mind touching on that more?
Yeah, sure. I'm an open book. When I first got out of high school, I was 17 when I graduated. I wasn't even 18 yet. So I was kind of rebellious. I was like, I was living with my mom. I was still 17. I was like, I'm going to live with my dad. Forget you. So I went to go live with my dad. That didn't work out. I ended up going to live with my cousin. So because I wasn't able to, I was in college, I still needed some type of support. I wasn't able to get my own housing or anything like that. Because I didn't have enough money through financial aid and things like that. So yeah, I was just a young adult trying to figure things out, and I moved so many times. I think I moved 5 times in one semester of college. There was no way that I was going to be able to do anything in college because I didn't have structure in my life. I didn't have stable housing. I didn't have transportation. I learned, I got my driver's license when I was 18. So those things, those just life skills and tools, you need a foundation to be able to focus on something and do something hey, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to start my own business. I'm going to go to college. You need shelter. You need transportation. You need food. You need that. Those are the things you need. And you need this, your mind. You got to put yourself in the right mindset. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I was going to do it. I didn't know when. I always knew I was going to go back to college. I didn't know when, but I had that structure and that stability, and I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. I have to if I want my life, to be what I want it to be and not fit into, the box. And, having, like I said, having a disabled son, I learned very quickly that this box that we think that we're in and things can only be done a certain way, that's not true. There's 50 ways to do one thing. So being able to have that mindset change and saying, oh, okay, I can do it this way instead of that way. It doesn't have to be a traditional path. As long as I get to where I'm going, that's what success is.
Walk me through what an average day looks like for you. I almost want to say a week, but walk me through on the average busiest day, not one of the laid back days. A couple average day for business.
So I'll wake up. The first thing I know I need to do is get me some coffee.
What time you wake up?
First thing. I usually wake up around 7 or 8. I don't have a set, I'm going to wake up at this time. I usually set an alarm for 7:30. But yeah, I'm always up by 8 o'clock. I, do my bathroom routine, clean face, whatever, brush my teeth and stuff, get my coffee. And then I sit down and I look at my calendar. My phone, being able to utilize Google Calendars has saved me so much because I'm able to plan on there. And I can add people. If I have a photo shoot with this person or I'm having a meeting with someone, we both have that, whatever that event is, I'm emailing it to them. I'm adding their email, I'm adding their contact information so they know too. So being able to get that calendar ready, that calendar, that's my go-to. That saves my life really. So within that, hey, I make sure I schedule time for me always. It's usually and I don't have strict times for live streaming. So I always try to do some type of content creation every day. Throughout the different days of the week, I do different things. So on Wednesday, I try to do my YouTube videos. On Tuesdays, that's my TikTok Tuesday. So I'm going to try to make 4 or 5 TikToks that day. And I have plans too. So like I write down, things that I want to do. So I always have a list too. I use Notes, Google Notes. So I always have a list of things that, okay, well, if I'm doing TikToks today, I'm going to go to my TikTok list and, make my content. And I also too write down what I need. So, if I need to do my makeup this way, or I need this certain outfit, or I need, this type of food, where we have it all, it's in the list, we grab it, we go. I don't really have a set time. I usually try to do any video creation probably between like 12 to 4 p.m. And I always set time for myself usually at the end of the night. I usually go to bed by 9 or 10. But I do have my son at home, and yeah, so I have to take care of him all day. I get a babysitter though, so I'm able to, make my videos or do my for my content and things like that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Make sure I get 3 meals. Make sure my son is taken care of, and whatever's on my to-do for my calendar, that's what I'm doing that day. And I don't make any excuses. I make sure I get it done.
You mentioned using Google Calendar and Google Notes. What other softwares or apps do you use to help run your business?
Okay, I definitely use QuickBooks. I also, let's see, what else do I use? I use Dailyo, which is a journal app. And it's like a mood tracker. It helps me structure and keep a positive mindset. I do have mental health issues. It's not something that I hide, because the more we talk about them, the more they're going to be socially acceptable. So I have depression and anxiety, and it helps me kind of combat those and fight those by being able to focus on the good things. So at night, like I said, when I take my break, usually I just jot down how the day was, how I felt, what I did, like the positive things. It's almost like every morning, people do the self-talk, or, every night people do like daily gratitude, like what am I grateful for? So that helps me a lot. And that's a personal and a business, because if I'm not well, then I can't work, it's going to be hard. I'll push through it, but my goal is to always be happy when those things are happening. And definitely working makes me excited, and it makes me happy being able to get content out there and connect with people. But yeah, definitely using Google Calendar to schedule my days. That's a really big thing. I also use Google Notes, and I use Google Tasks. So tasks is kind of like where I break down stuff if I need to have something for a specific shoot, or if I'm going to live stream. And I also, in live streams, I don't only do video games. Sometimes I do unboxings, or I just do something fun. Like I might eat, I always do snacks. So like I love snacks. So, I'm going to go get the newest snack that they have, and I'll do a live review on there and just say, hey, this is what I think about it. So like all those little things, they really help me, keep track of everything.
So we talked about a whole lot on this podcast. We talked about a whole lot. Yeah. You definitely gave a lot of sauce. I want to talk about, how do you balance family? How do you balance the family life?
Okay, yeah. So with family, it's really important for me to be able to work and focus on my career, but also focus on my family. They're my biggest support. I always make time. So I would say every other weekend, I'm seeing someone in my immediate family. I also do video chats. So I have group chats on Facebook, and I talk to my family almost every day or every other day. Just even if it's just a, hey, how are you? Or, hey, what's going on? Just to see them, because it's important to have that support system, I always take Saturdays and Sundays off. I usually don't live stream on those days. And if I do work on Saturday, it's because I'm doing a cosplay event. So that Saturday morning will be free for me. But I take Saturdays and Sundays off because people go out, so I'm not going to live stream at night or during the day, because that's when people are like, hey, it's the weekend, we're about to go do whatever. So I'm going to do whatever too, whatever I have planned or whatever makes me happy. But I definitely make time. And I also make time for myself. Like I said, I feel like that's important, because when you're an entrepreneur, you're not working, 8 hours a day. You're working like 14 hours a day, or, especially if you're trying to build, you're working all the time. Even when you're not working, you're working, because you're trying to come up with ideas. You're trying to come up with content. You're trying to figure out, what's my next step? What's my next move? It's just something that's instilled within you, well, I feel like if you really want it, that's what's going to happen. I don't want to talk for everyone, but yeah, you're always working. So being able to also have that time, that little time for myself, that little hour break at night, after dinner, I get my tea, I do my app, I might read a book, I might watch a show, and just try to wind down and relax, and make sure that I'm okay too. I think that's really important, and it should be talked about, because if not, you're gonna go into that, you get overworked, and then you go into that slump. You know what I mean? So you got to make sure that you also have time for yourself.
For somebody who's watching this and they want to get started, and they want to be like essentially just like you, like how would you break it down to them, like step 1, step 2, step 3, and then you would be Adventure Kimby?
Okay. Step 1 for being Adventure Kimby or like Adventure Kimby. You need to have a laptop, bare minimum laptop, and you need some Wi-Fi, okay? You also need, that's it, because you can play games online and stream them. A lot of the software that I use is free, so I use Stream Deck, which is allows me to do my overlay and live stream through. You can either live stream through Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. Those are the 3 that they have right now, and that's all you need. You can play video games online. You are going to be able to talk because your laptop has a microphone, and you just get on there and play games. Make sure that I would say go through Facebook, because Twitch is weird. Like, you don't have followers at first. You have to kind of build your audience through Twitch. But Facebook, everybody has Facebook friends. Add them, to your live stream. Tag them. Say, hey, send them a message. Say, hey, I'm getting on my live. Come check it out. And that way they'll be on there. That's the first thing you need for live streaming. If you want to upgrade, step 2, what I did, got a camera. You can also get a video game system if you don't already have one. And if you get a video game system, you're going to need an Elgato. It's a card reader that actually allows you to plug your game in, and then you plug it into your computer, and you plug it into your TV. So you have an output on your TV, and you have an input into your computer, So your computer sees what game you're playing and your TV sees what game you're playing. So then you can play on the TV and it's getting inputted directly into your computer. Yeah, you need those things for the next step for upgrading. That's it for live streaming. You just need yourself. And then for cosplays, you have to find out what you want to do, who you want to be, what cosplay you want to build. I would say try not to source already made outfits. I mean, you can if you want to, but I would say doing it yourself, you feel better because you're like, I made this. You can feel really proud about it instead of just saying, oh, I bought this offline. You know, I bought the full thing offline. Saying you made it, it helps a lot. And then when you go show it off, you can be happy. Hey, I did this. It was all me, baby. Yeah. So that is a really good feeling. And yeah, and then you need a camera. And I mean, you might even just be able to do a cell phone, you know. Go out there, look up poses for your character. That's a little hack I got for you. Before I do any cosplay builds, obviously I look up the character, but when I go to do my photo shoots, I look up some specific poses, because if they have specific poses, then you can get that down to a T. You'll be able to mirror them side by side, say, this is the picture that I was trying to go for. This is the picture that I took. What do you guys think? Bam, right there. You're good. It's a way for people to interact with you and say, you did that, or you might need some work. So those are pretty much it. If you want to upgrade for cosplays, I would say look into building with foam. Definitely go through Instagram. People do metal work. They do a whole bunch of crazy stuff, big builds. I made some wings. It took a while. They were pretty crazy. I did some metal work, but it was something that I wanted to learn, and now I know how to solder. So it's just one of those things. That's for cosplays. And then get a camera or invest in a photographer. There are photographers that do cosplay photos specifically. You can find them at Comic-Cons. Usually they try to post and say, hey, I'm going to be here if anybody wants pictures. Or you can just go through and find a photographer that you think will fit you. So yeah, that's pretty much it.